All right. Good morning, folks. Happy Thursday. This is Jay Cummings, Business Development Officer and Marketing Director for People's Trust Company. And we are entering into fall, so we're going to bring back our podcasts on a more regular basis. We took a few days off or a few months off for the summer so everybody could get the last part of boating season and tanning season and all the fun golf and whatever else. And then we decided to bring this back up. So, primarily, the People's Trust Company podcast is a business related service. And I'll just tell everybody out there that if you are tuning in live, that, and my screen has frozen. So, I wonder what's happened. Oh, and we're back. We had a little, I guess the internet had to be refreshed. So we are back. So yeah, we've got our business series podcast, and today we're going to have the great Kate Tucker from Hall Communications, and she is a marketing expert and strategist, and she works with many different forms of advertising media. And she does radio, she does digital, and there's a whole lot there that she can accomplish for you. She's been in the industry for quite a while. Kate, why don't I flip the screen over and let you do the rest of a more proper introduction and
Okay,
let the folks know what your expertise is and what you do, and then we'll dive in.
sure. So Hall Communications has been in the Burlington radio market for over 42 years. We have 5 stations here in Burlington, and we, in the last several years, have moved into also providing digital tools to our customers, trying to stay up with the times and make sure we can give our customers everything that they need to market their business effectively and affordably and see great results. I've been with Hall for a long time. I've been doing sales for 14 years now, sales and promotions. So I'm also our promotions director. I also organize all of our remotes and events, ticket giveaways, pretty much anything fun you hear going on the air. I have something to do with. um, so our 5 stations, we have a country station, which is WOKO. Cool 105 is our big hit station. We've just recently started playing artists like the Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys. So moving into the late 90s, early 2000s. The Buzz is our modern rock station, alternative modern rock, and WIZN is classic rock. Also, we have WJOY, which is our AM easy listening station. It's also our oldest station. It's been on the air for 80, almost 80 years, I believe. So yeah, those are our radio stations. I work with local businesses to advertise on those stations, build proposals, write creative copy. We produce all of our ads in house, and we produce a lot of the commercials you hear everywhere in the market. So,
Most excellent. Thank you for that, Kate. So let me just tell the folks at home that this is a live podcast right now. It is recorded and it will be stored on our website, on our YouTube channel. And I think you can find them on Facebook too. But if you are tuning in live and you have a specific question that you want to ask Kate, and you can customize it as exact as you'd like it to be for your business, whether you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, all you have to do is enter a comment in the chat, and that comment will pop over here. And then we can ask Kate what your question is, and she can give the answer. Or you can also send a note saying you'd like to be invited in on the broadcast, and we can bring you in live, and you can speak to Kate face to face. So,
cool.
Kate, you really said a mouthful there when you started mentioning all the platforms that you can do advertising for, and then all the services that you provide at Hall Communication, including writing copy for radio ads and all of the digital. I mean, that's got to be almost overwhelming, all of the stuff that you can offer a customer. But where do you want to start first? Should we talk a little bit about radio and then dive into digital, or did you
Sure.
want
Yeah,
the
we can do that.
presentation?
Yeah. Um, I mean, radio. definitely gets the, "Well, that's not relevant anymore," comment quite often, but it is very relevant, especially in markets like Vermont, where our stations, our main goal is to be as community oriented as possible. We work with organizations like Camp Tecumseh, the Vermont Children's Hospital, Josh's House, a place for veterans, and we really try to support our community members and those organizations that are supporting our community members as much as we possibly can. And it gives us a big personality in the area too. So people recognize us when we're out there. Um, and radio is still very impactful as a marketing part of your marketing mix. Is even with all of the digital tools that are out there now, they actually pair really well together. So when radio is added to a digital campaign, you definitely see a lift in your clicks and visits because you're adding in that extra impression. You're also adding in the local part of it. So when you're seeing digital ads on your phone or on your computer, you can often get overwhelmed with how many ads are out there. But then seeing an ad, hearing it also later on a local traditional media, even if that's your local TV station or your local radio station, it just adds that extra trustworthy part of that to an ad. Um, and reach doubles when there's a 20% increase to a marketing budget that includes radio. So you're really able to reach your potential customers in a really impactful and effective way. And radio has a great way of planting a seed with potential customers in the cycle of the consumer cycle. You never know where somebody is when they might need something. So radio has a way of emotion. You can really reach those people with an emotion. If you use creative copywriting that is focused on the customer or the consumer and their pain points and their needs, it's a really great way to reach through the clutter and get somebody thinking, oh, I have that problem, or I need snow tires, or oh, my washer's about to die. But you don't know, you can't ever predict when somebody's going to be in that part of the cycle. So radio is a great way to keep your name out there.
Let me just jump in here real quick. And as you're on the pertinent topic of radio, and I was of the same misconception that, it's too expensive and it's not for me and whatever. And then I remember working with Sue on a few items and they worked beautifully. And not to not to leak out the secret part of the sauce, but just for a couple of events, I used a week long campaign. Maybe it was 10 days and it was $1,000. And we got, I don't remember, maybe it was 30 spots or whatever. And the return on that was exceptional. Whether it was back in COVID when we did the drive-through Santa Claus
Hmm.
at all of our branches.
Yeah,
I mean, we had lines for an hour and a half, and the only way those people knew about it was the radio. We did a little bit on Facebook, but I could tell the vast majority of those people that were there, it was on that radio. And then when I needed to do some business training events in Burlington, my Facebook doesn't reach down into Burlington. And even though we did paid ads and it was a little bit, we did a full campaign of radio for not a lot of money, and that put the butts in seats on that night, and the only way those folks would have found me is on your radio station.
that's awesome. That's what we love to hear. Then and it is powerful. It's a great way to reach people. We also do a lot of community oriented programs where we can loop local businesses into something we're running that aligns them with a local, whether it's a nonprofit or an event that's going on, and it gives them the opportunity to help support that group while also getting some exposure for their business. Um, yeah, and just radio is pretty trustworthy within the market. People feel like they know some of the personalities if you listen on a regular basis. And some people, everybody can always recall a radio ad, whether it's something that annoyed them. I won't say one that I hear often, but I think everybody knows which ones I'm talking about, or one that the jingle gets stuck in their head every time they hear it. So it's it's a great medium still, and it does pair really well with all of the digital tools out there too.
It really does. And then the other, in the bank industry, in order to take somebody that doesn't know who you are, where you are, what you do, and you start with a fresh inquiry on a prospect, they say it takes 16 touches before those people can even start remembering your name. And what I talk to salespeople all the time, I'm like, if those 16 touches were all phone calls, like you're going to have a restraining order somewhere around, touch 7, 8, or 9. So you have to touch in multiple formats that are complementary to each other. So you don't wear out your welcome. And I think radio is a fantastic complement to that.
It is, and it's a little more passive of a medium. Most people are listening while they're driving to work or while they're in their office as background noise. Or a lot of people I hear they work at home and they leave the radio on all day. They don't want to leave the TV on. That's a little too distracting, but they leave a radio on in the background all day while they're working at home just to kind of keep that silence, the deafening silence to a low. Um, yeah, it is very powerful, and um, it's also a quick turnaround for people. Whereas if you have to work with a graphic designer to design something, video is great, but it does take more time to turn something around. Professional video, social videos, if you're good, you can do those very quickly. But radio, they can send us a script and we can record or produce it, have it on the air in a day or two. Um, if they need to change something, it's quick and easy to change. We can do it same day. So that's another big benefit for people, especially in the recruitment. We do a lot of recruitment on the radio. If you listen, you'll hear lots of local companies looking for people to work. It's a great way for them to share the benefits of their company, again, in an emotional way that will cut through all of the clutter and maybe give somebody who doesn't even know they're looking for a new opportunity, is driving to work, and they hear something about a company that's offering something that's amazing, and they say, oh, maybe I should look into that.
That's another great point of marketing, and so many people that don't understand marketing. And then when things get tight, the first thing they cut is the marketing budget, and then they wonder why sales go down. And it sounds counterintuitive, but you never know when that prospect is going to be ready to hear that message. And on the digital side of things, not everybody's typing in, trying to find a job in this industry. So that's the search and be delivered and presented with an ad when you're out there looking for it specifically. But the radio is kind of that gentle falling on you, and if you hear it multiple times, then it sticks, and then I'm not interested in that job because I'm happy where I am. And then a month later, you're like, you know what? Maybe I will think about that because now I'm in the consideration phase of the transaction.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why consistency is key, and trying to keep your name out there or your message out there for as long as you can. And obviously, budget is a can come into effect there, but there are ways to do it for everybody. Sometimes people think, oh, it's too expensive. I don't even want to try it. And then when we show them what they can do for 3 months, 6 months, a year, they're like, oh, wow, that's actually really not that bad. And then after 3 months, they start to see the return on investment. And 3 months is kind of where we see people panic in any marketing
Mhm.
investment they make,
Sure.
where they start to think, oh, it's not working and I'm just paying this bill every month and I haven't seen everything. But then when you start to ask them, well, are you seeing any more website visits? Are you seeing any phone calls? And slowly that starts to build and build and build. But like the 16 or even more touches, probably in today's world, you really have to be consistent out there. You can't just throw something out there and expect it to work. It's kind of like exercise. You can't hit the gym for 1 or 2 days and expect to see all of the results that you're looking for. You have to stick with it in a consistent way.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think about we just dive in and make a couple of examples? And again, I see we got a few people watching. If you folks want to ask a very specific question to Kate about radio or digital through Hall Communications, feel free to just drop it in the chat, and we can ask, anonymous or not anonymous. It doesn't really matter to us. We just want to get some live examples going. So feel free to just, if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, just enter a comment there and that'll populate over here onto this platform, and we can get your questions right to Kate live, or you can hop online and ask her face to face if you'd like. Kate, if I was a small business, and maybe we'll just give you you can make a quick recommendation of something you may have seen in the past, or maybe you can use one of your other success stories of a smaller business, and maybe that person came to you and they said, look, I need to get some more business in the door. I got to get things rolling, and they've got a good product, they've got a good service, or whatever it is. They just need more people to hear about them. I'm a big Grant Cardone fan of the, nobody know who you are, where you are, what you do, and why they should care. We're all fighting obscurity at some level. And so many of these people have good businesses, and they're really good craftspeople or tradespeople at doing whatever it is that they do. And they just can't get out in front of enough people. And you've got to go through, several hundred people till you find somebody that's actually needing what you sell. Do you have a very small success story of somebody that you can share with us, either publicly or anonymously, of what they did, maybe a roundabout cost of what it was, and what the benefit to that customer was? What did they see for a result?
Yeah, I work with a like interior flooring paint store in the Middlebury area. She'd worked at the business for many years, ended up purchasing it herself, and said, if I'm going to run this business, I really want to grow it. And while the previous owner had done a fine job keeping the business going steadily along, she said, I have competitors right down the street, you never know when somebody else is going to pop up on the other side of the street too. So we have done many different things over the last few years, some digital display, really targeting the zip codes where some of the higher end houses might be, that could really afford her services. Also radio, we've done live radio ads during morning drive, almost like an endorsement type ad, where it's the personality giving a little, it's kind of all theater, but the listener doesn't necessarily know that. Speaking of secret sauce, I guess, but kind of giving like a personal recommendation of why you should call this business for your tile or your paint or your flooring. Like she works with California Paint, and so that's a pretty well-known paint that is a little more expensive, but does a really good job. And the personality saying, yeah, if you're planning on painting your living room, if you only want to do 2 coats max, this is the place to go to get your paint. We've also done a longer term campaign with sponsorships. So sponsoring weather reports and hours of the morning show, which are very inexpensive. They're like $30 a week. You're at the same time every day, every Tuesday at 8 a.m. you would be mentioned live, have your commercial play, and we recommend those for like 3 to 6 months. And so that's all worked really well for her. And she's had many people coming in saying, the place down the street was sold recently, and we used to go there, but we keep hearing about you and your great customer service and your great knowledge about products and design. And so she's had a lot of success with growing her business, almost too much now. She's had to hire people to keep up with all of it. So in homeowners and in contractor business. So
That's very cool, about how that shift of her business went from competing with somebody to expanding. And one of the other things that I run into when I'm doing a business consultation with somebody that wants to improve or grow their business or expand is they look at advertising as a one-for-one immediate return. And I don't think that's the way to do it. I think what people need to do, and I try to teach my people that, is you have to at least understand the lifetime value of a customer. And just because you spend $10 on marketing today doesn't mean you're going to net $10 of profit tomorrow.
Right.
But if you do a little bit every day, these customers, maybe each customer, you're clearing your $500 each net every quarter, and that's a $2,000 a year profit but the customer stays with you 10 or 20 years. Now that's a lot more money. Lifetime value of a customer.
Yeah, and depending on the business, those profit margins are really different. If you're a coffee shop, and they see or hear your ad, they come in and get a cup of coffee, they really like it. Maybe they stop there once a week for the next 10 years, or they stop in and get baked goods for their office once a week now too. So seeing how that one customer that's coming in from hearing your ad is going to eventually pay for it over and over and over again. Obviously, in like the construction, home improvement industry, those ticket items are much bigger, maybe a longer relationship, because somebody redoes their house with you, floors and paint, then they sell that house, they buy a new house, they need to start all over again. But that could be a 10-15 year gap. So making sure you're advertising enough to stay in business long enough to help maintain that relationship is also important. So.
100%. My joke is always, a year from now, I wish you started today.
Yep. Yeah. And I've walked into many small businesses and couldn't get their attention or time of day. And then a year or two later, they're gone. It's like, oh, I wish I could have helped them. I had a great ad idea. I had a great video idea for them. But it's hard sometimes for business owners to step outside of their business and see the reality of having to get their name out there to people.
Absolutely, 100%. We've spoken a fair amount about radio, but you do so much more down there. Can you give a quick example of a success story using one of your digital products and describe that to us?
Yeah, so we offer kind of the full gamut of digital products, display, digital audio streaming, podcasts, video, so YouTube advertising, Google search, CTV, which stands for connected TV, and OTT, which is over the top TV. So over the top is any TV that's streamed on devices other than a smart TV, pretty much. So on Apple TV, Roku, iPad, phone. And I've had a good success with OTT, over the top TV, with a local restaurant. They had done some beautiful videos and they just posted them on their website. I reached out and said, hey, what are you doing with these videos? They're great. And they were like, oh, we're just going to post them on social media and our website. I was like, well, you should really get those out there to the whole audience. So we did an OTT campaign with them. And they had a over 98% completion rate on 125,000 impressions over a couple months. So that's pretty good. And the cool thing about digital is you can track it and you can see that it's working. Radio, a lot of times we hear, well, I don't know if it's working because I don't see numbers on a piece of paper that tell me this many people saw or heard it. So with digital, we do have the opportunity to do that. And also with the cool thing about our OTT and CTV products, so OTT includes CTV, but CTV does not include OTT. But there's a lot of acronyms. I'm sorry. CTV is way more expensive than OTT. But if it's all user-based, so if most of the people in your designated area of geography that you've chosen to target are watching on a Samsung Smart TV, then most of those impressions are going to be served on a full-size TV, usually not skippable ads. So they had great success with that, and yeah, it's easy to pull it all together and get it out there as long as you have the tactics. So.
And so can you be specific geography down to code or county or something?
Yeah, you can do counties. Some products are more county based. Some are like a mileage around a certain address. Some you can do down to the zip code. Some you could just do the whole state if you wanted to, if you were a broader uh, company or service that or e-commerce that wants to hit the whole state. And then you can drill down to the demographics of the people that you want to reach. So age, gender, household income, interests. So we buy third-party data. It's so every website you go on now, you have to opt into the cookies. And that means that they're out there mining your information, and that information is being sold to digital advertising companies. So if you're searching home improvement, a construction company could serve their ad to you because they're buying that data to know who in their area is searching home improvement jobs.
Wow, that is very valuable and specific. I get my here for the podcast told me that my voice is echoing, and I'm not sure. I made some adjustments, but it doesn't seem to be helping. I apologize, both you and the audience. Not sure what causes that to the internet.
Oh yeah, it's a little echoey.
Yeah, sorry about that. So let's. I know budget is 25 minutes. I want to be respectful of your time. Is there any? I've got a couple of questions for you, but is there anything I missed that you were really wanting to dive in here today?
I don't think so. I think you let me cover most of it.
Yeah. All right, Kate. Let's do the speed round.
Okay.
I'm going to list industry, and before we go, I just got a few more viewers. If anybody wants to ask Kate a specific question, feel free to hop in and comment, and the comments will be right here. We'll really Kate for a very specific answer about your business. So, Kate, let's see. If I was a restaurant in Franklin County or Chittenden County, sales are between 1.5 and 2.5 million dollars, and I needed to boost some revenue. What's your best recommendation for me for marketing the next 8 weeks?
Well, if you should be allocating up to 20% of your revenue towards marketing, but that's across everything. So if you were to do a digital campaign for 8 weeks, I would say consider something between 1,000 and 3,000 a month, depending on how big of an audience you're looking to reach. Are you looking to draw people across the lake from New York? Are you looking to pull people from Montreal? Are you looking to pull people from out of town? Or do you want to focus on your local community? You want to make sure your budget is correct, because if it's too high, you're not going to actually be able to serve all of those impressions to the right people, and it won't. You'll just be wasting money at that point. So it is really case by case basis on who you're looking to reach. But yeah, I would say anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000, depending on the product. So if you have video, OTT, or display, you could do 500 to 1,500 a month too.
That's a lot of bang for your buck right there, with not much marketing.
Yep.
Okay. The next industry is going to be a coffee shop that sells baked goods. What are you going to recommend to me? What platform would be the best for me? Say I've only got $1,200 a month to spend, and I could do that for the next 12 months.
I would recommend bringing in a box of your baked goods to our morning show hosts so that they can experience them and then tell all of their commuter listeners that, hey, if you work in Franklin County, you're missing out. Your office will love you if you stop and grab a dozen of their baked goods to bring in. And if you work in Franklin County, you get 20% off, or like offer some kind of incentive for those people to come in. But that's a good place for the business to give the local air personalities an opportunity to experience what they offer and then communicate that in a trustworthy way to their audience.
Oh my God, that is genius.
And then if I'm in the office that morning, I also get to benefit.
I think it has something to do with that. Calling you, and I'll let people know at the end of the podcast, let you share how to contact you to do some of this. I think that's an excellent idea. I would have thought of that in years. All right, last question, because I'm over the 30-minute mark, and I'm going to be super respectful of your time. Let's say I own a local gym, and the Purple Gym doing the $10 a month thing is really beating up, but I offer more depth of training, instruction, and quality. And of course, now we got to get your first on the horizon. What's a great option for me?
Either a YouTube video campaign or a display campaign where you can feature images from your gym that are inviting, that make people think they will feel comfortable walking in there. Lots of people have anxiety about walking into a gym and whether they'll be accepted or not. So focusing your messaging on we can help you. We're here to help you grow. And these are our facilities that are clean and professional and modern. So giving people a kind of a view into your gym without them having to walk in and sign up for a membership.
Excellent. All right, Kate, I'll let you know one example. Missed a little hot, sweet spot that I skimmed over that you would wanted me to throw at you what about this business? Did I miss a second?
I think you did a good job. You did a good variety there.
Okay. All right, Katie. Well, we're running up to the 32-minute mark here. If people want to just call you or contact you and just even discuss what am I on my business, how do we go about connecting with you?
Email is the best way, kated@hallradio.net, or you can go to any of our websites and submit a advertise with us now form, and we'll reach out. And no pressure, just want to learn about your business, learn what your marketing goals are, and see if we can help.
That is an excellent way to do this, and I'm going to make one final to anybody out in the food business. Come with a goodie pack and get it to Kate and have people on Buzz or ICN or WJOY talking about it on their morning or evening show for desserts.
Sure.
And Kate's going to tell me what day they're doing that, and I'm going to pop in so we can get some of that stuff too.
Great.
All right, Kate, I greatly appreciate you coming in. Even though half hour, we got to go through some of the exact details of everything that you offer. But it's a good opportunity for people to just reach out and contact you directly, get a consultation and a chat. And it's
Kate@hallradio.net.
All right, folks, until the next time, again, Kate, I appreciate everything, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.